third floor, and we have 3 members present. Would you join me, please, to the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Notice to the public, the Board of Supervisors welcomes comments from the public during the time allowed for discussion. You're requested to approach the microphone, state your name for the record, and limit the time used to present your remarks in order that others may be given the opportunity to speak. The normal process on any agenda item is for the chairperson to read the item from the agenda. The board is given an opportunity to comment on the issue and/or place a motion on the floor. An opportunity for discussion may be presented, at which time the public may participate, and a roll call then will follow. Okay, the first item is the approval and amendment of the agenda. The chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I motion that we approve the agenda as printed.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Solosik?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Okay, the motion has been approved. Okay, the chair is going to pull this item number 20. It's Resolution 2018-002. It involves an eminent domain possibility, and because we have legal minds on the telephone, we're going to move item number 20 to the forefront at this time. So page over. This discussion is involved with fixing a date for a public hearing and approval to consider a public improvement project in the Green Mountain area, which may possibly require acquisition of the land by eminent domain. And we have our attorney who is an expert in this, and it's Maria Brownell. And Maria, do you have anything that you wish to
Just a moment.
You should be doing that.
19.
Yeah.
or number? Oh,
Make her
pardon
our
me.
counsel first.
Did I skip ahead here? My fault. Let's back up and do that one here then. Number 19 is the approved engagement letter from Ehlers Cooney Attorneys, and this is discussion of possible action to improve an engagement letter from Maria Brownell, Ehlers Cooney Attorney, to advise and assist in the acquisition of property by exercise of eminent domain through formal condemnation proceedings. This engagement letter begins the work on the acquisition of the agricultural property necessary to construct the county's sewer lagoon in Green Mountain, Iowa. The chair would entertain a motion at this time.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve the engagement letter from Maria Brownell, Ehlers Cooney Attorney, to begin work on the acquisition of agricultural property necessary to construct the county's sewer lagoon in Green Mountain, Iowa.
Mr. Chair, I would second that.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion at this point? If not, roll call vote, please.
Solosik?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Okay, that motion has been approved. My apologies for skipping over that. Now moving on then to item number 20. And Maria, do you have any comments at this time in regard to a possible eminent domain?
Thank you. It's nice to meet you all by phone. I'm Maria Brownell of the Ehlers Cooney Law Firm, and as Bill mentioned, I've been practicing in eminent domain pretty intensely here for the last couple of years specifically, and so it's an area that is at the forefront of my mind in handling both challenges to the authority of condemning authorities to condemn land for purposes of public improvement projects, as well as just arise with regard to the value of the property itself, which can also be appealed and taken through litigation. Both those types of matters can go through some pretty intense litigation, and my job is just to make sure you all know what's going on. You have kind of that bird's eye view of what the process is, and then I want to make sure I'm laying the groundwork so that if or when litigation on either of those two types of matters arises, the county is in the best possible position to defend its position and in an possible eminent domain. And so what you have in front of you is a resolution setting a public hearing, and that is the first step that the code requires before the authority to actually take an application up to the chief judge and ask them to sign off on it, start the commission process, can begin. And so the first thing, both Chapter 6A and 6B of the code have just a plethora of requirements. And it didn't, I don't know that it used to be quite that complex. In the early 2000s, the U.S. Supreme Court decided a case that caused states to add things to their statutes on eminent domain. And one of those things was additional requirements for giving the defending authority the authority to proceed. And so I just want to make sure we're dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's with that baseline set of requirements. What will happen is after you pass this resolution and set that public hearing date, that triggers a notice period. And I'll work with John and Lisa and whomever else that you'd like me to work with on that. I think we've designated John as the person who would be in charge of making sure those notices get done appropriately. So I'll work with staff to make sure there's a 30-day notice requirement. Each of the property owners who may be impacted by the project get a special notice, and then before the public hearing. And then there's also a requirement that you check the county auditor's records between 7 and 14 days. We often recommend you do it twice. Just do it 7 days before the notices go out and 14 days before the notices go out. Just also making a record of those notices. Every little step of that can be challenged in district court before you can even get the project off the ground. So we just want to make sure all those are done correctly so that you can get this project moving. So that said, once those notices go out and we've made a good record of what we've done, you'll hold the public hearing, and anybody can come to that public hearing and voice their opinion on the project itself, on the impact it might have on their land, on the design, and the board take that into consideration. You'll close the hearing, and then the resolution you have before you there at your May 15 meeting would be the resolution that approves your project, essentially as is put before you by your engineer, and approves the land that would be necessary to make that project happen. And I know you guys have been through this generally before. I know this has been going on for several years. So getting all that in mind for your May 15 meeting will really ensure that if it comes down to it, you can make that final offer and feel comfortable going to the district court, filing an application to the property that's needed for this project by eminent domain if necessary. There will be some negotiation. I'll have to work with your acquisition agent
Okay, any questions here, guys?
Maria, I've got a question on the timeline. When Chris Happ was here last time, he mentioned that the 30-day clock started after this whole process had gone either before a magistrate or a judge. Today, you've got us setting an actual date of May 15th for this timeline on this resolution for when the public meeting is going to be. What really starts the clock ticking here? Is it when we make this resolution or when this matter goes before a judge?
I can't speak to what specifically Chris Happ might have told you at a previous meeting. I'm sorry about that. What I can tell you is what starts the clock ticking before it goes to a judge is a little bit down the road. But you've got to have formal negotiations, which again, I understand you've had. But really this hearing that you'll have on May 15th sets the groundwork for being able to go through the rest of the code's requirements. The code is very, very clear that until there is the 30-day notices to the property owners about the public hearing, and then the public hearing is actually held, open, closed, and a resolution passed after that, that says, hey, we're going forward with this project, and if we need to, we'll acquire property by eminent domain. The code is very clear that the county doesn't have the authority to exercise eminent domain. Does that answer your question? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Steve, you have any?
No, not at this time.
Nan, do you have any questions?
I do not. No,
Okay.
that she laid it out very
Okay.
nicely.
Or Sheriff Hoffman, you heard and you realize you're going to be part of this program if it proceeds that far. Okay.
Right.
It'd be held, I think it has to be held in the sheriff's facility.
It has been some time, the last one I recall.
Excuse me, Maria, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. Jump in.
You know, actually, the code gives the sheriff the authority to just make some space available. So we'll kind of talk through how much space you might need, how many people we're expecting. If you need, a lot of times we hold it at the courthouse as well. So if there's
Okay.
a conference in the courthouse, that's okay too.
Supervisor, in the past, we've held it on the third floor of the sheriff's
Room 3.
office.
Okay.
Okay. When I first read this, it said to be held in the sheriff's office, and I thought, oh, okay. But thank you for explaining that to me.
Yeah.
John, you got anything to add or questions? No? Okay.
I'm good. So today, we just have to approve what we have here in 20, item 20. And then we need to set the date then. Maria, we set the date today for the hearing?
It's in the resolution.
Correct.
And that would be on the May 15th part. Okay. Anything else?
Not on my end.
Okay. The chair would entertain a motion then to adopt this resolution.
Mr. Chair, I would motion that we adopt resolution number 2018-0022, which is fixing the date for a public hearing prior to project approval to consider public improvement project which may require acquisition of agricultural land.
And I'll
The-
second.
Been moved and seconded.
I think we should make note that the date of that hearing will be May 15th, 2018, at the county courthouse,
9 a.m.
9 a.m. In this room, which is the northeast corner, third floor, 1 East Main Street. And the purpose is for the construction of the Green Mountain wastewater treatment facility project.
Okay, where that's coming from is section 1 of this resolution. Is there any further discussion? Any questions? If not, roll call vote, please.
Solosik,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Okay. This resolution has been approved and adopted. Maria, thank you. Unless you have something else to tell us here, we're going to let you go.
That sounds great. It was really nice to meet you all. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks again.
Bye.
This one?
Yeah.
I think just press that button again.
Oh, double hit?
It's so
Okay.
much fun just to rip the wires out.
That was, I did almost want to leave you, but.
Nobody lets me play anymore.
No, I'm just not very.
Okay,
nice.
moving on here then, going back to the front page, which is the consent agenda. We have approval of the minutes from the regular session of March 20th, 2018. Item number 3 is to accept the annual manure management plan update, Bangor Finishing Farm ID number 59034, annual update report received and placed on file with the following changes made to the manure management plan: added acres, change crop rotation, and/or optimum yields and used manure analysis. Item number 4, accept annual manure management plan update, Eggers Farm ID number 56995, annual, excuse me, annual update report received and placed on file with no changes to the manure management plan. Item number 5, accept annual manure management plan update, Kevin Blood Dairy Farm ID number 60101, annual update report received and placed on file with no changes made to the manure management plan. Item number 6 is accept manure management plan, manure management plan update, Edler Brothers Farm ID number 58296, annual update report received and placed on file with no changes made to the manure management plan. Item number 7, accept annual manure management plan update, Bill Havalka, site number 3, ID number 64515, annual update report received and placed on file with the following changes, change to the manure management plan 4-year update. Item number 8, accept manure management plan update, Dennis Anderson, ID number 62848, annual update report received and placed on file with the following change to the manure management plan 4-year update. Going then to item number 9, accept annual manure management plan update, Marco Pork LP ID number 61016, annual update report received and placed on file with no changes to the manure management plan. Item number 10, approve public event held on county property, and this is the FARST Foundation and Full Tilt Riders MC and Theta Beta Sigma request permission to use the courthouse grounds from 7 to 11 a.m. The walk will begin and end at the courthouse. Proceeds from sponsored walkers in the event will benefit Assault Care Center, extending shelter and support, serving Boone, Greene, Marshall, Story, and Tama counties. A motorcycle ride will begin on the south side of the courthouse, and proceeds will benefit the National Multiple Sclerosis Foundation. Is there anyone here to speak to that this morning? Jared, you're not a motorcycle rider? Okay.
Do we have a
Dirt bike
date?
ride.
Okay, dirt
Do
bike.
we have a date on that?
There isn't one.
No, there's nothing here. On this one, it begins at 7 a.m. though.
Okay.
Do we know?
There's no date on it.
Is it in here?
It should be in here.
Okay, I didn't pull that out, I'm sorry. It's,
May 26th. Is-
Okay.
Is Saturday in there? Oh, okay. At one time it was, but it's not.
okay,
Is
May
that
26th.
Saturday?
Saturday. May
Saturday,
26th,
Saturday, May 26th.
7 to 11.
Yeah.
Okay, any further questions, comments? We need a motion to do this one, don't we?
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve the consent agenda as printed.
Do we need to do it as with the change of May 26th?
Amended.
I think so.
So
Yeah, I was thinking we
Would
needed.
you change it to amended, please?
Amended.
And I did not say, item number 11, approve the claims. Approved claims is audited and authorized the county auditor and recorder to issue payment of the same. The listing of the claims paid at this meeting and all claims paid in the month of April will be published as part of the first meeting in May. Okay, with that, the chair would entertain a motion at this time, and let's have a motion, then we'll amend the motion.
Do you want to have a motion to amend the agenda?
We can do whatever you would like,
You're the chair.
either
How would you like it?
way.
You can do it as amended instead of as printed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we need a separate vote then for amended? Okay.
Then I would make a motion then to accept the amended consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I will second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as amended. Any further discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Solosik?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Okay. The consent agenda as amended has been approved. Item number 12, request the use of courthouse grounds. Child Abuse Prevention Services, Jana Enfield and Emma Case, Director of Community Awareness for Child Abuse Prevention, is requesting the use of the courthouse grounds and electricity to have a kickoff rally to raise awareness throughout our community about the importance of preventing abuse. They are requesting to place 2 wooden Blue Kids figures on the courthouse lawn in the northeast and the southwest corners. Anyone here? Emma's not here today. Jan, okay, that's fine. Any comments, questions, or questions? If not, Chair would entertain a motion to approve this.
Mr. Chair, I motion that we approve the request to hold a kickoff rally on Friday, April 10th, 2018, from 12:15 to 12:45 p.m. on the courthouse grounds to bring awareness to the community about the importance of preventing child abuse. If raining, the rally will be held in the rotunda on the 2nd floor of the courthouse.
And I would second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Solosik?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Okay, motion has been carried. Item number 13, warrants outstanding for over 1 year pursuant to section 331.554, section 7, Code of Iowa. Warrants outstanding for more than 1 year shall be canceled by the auditor, and the amount of the warrant shall be credited to the fund upon which the warrants were drawn. Said warrants as follows. Anyone here to discuss this? Is it a big deal? You're reading? Okay.
I'm reading ahead, no.
Okay. Okay.
Only one this year.
Yeah, this is actually a second issue. We did reissue this check, and they did not cash it for a
Again.
second time.
Okay.
So,
Here we go. Yeah. The chair would entertain a motion then.
Mr. Chair, then I would make a motion to authorize the county auditor and recorder to cancel these warrants.
Seconded by.
Mr. Chair, I will second that.
Okay. If there's no discussion, roll call vote, please.
Solosik?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Okay, motion's been carried. Item number 14, set time and place for public hearing on proposed vacation of a portion of 110th Street, Bangor Township, petition 844. And this is an old road that I think the farmers already farm through it, by it, and around it. And we're asking to close this section. Paul, do you have any comments on that?
No, I mean, that pretty much, it's a section of 110th Street that is not currently an open roadway, and there's no reason to retain that right-of-way easement.
And we haven't been maintaining it.
It's not currently a road.
No. We have contacted, or Paul has contacted, all the people who own land adjacent to this road, and they've signed off on this. And one of the things that we also do is we check with people who live close to it and think that they would object or would they would perhaps then have an idea there. But we also check to be sure that there are no fiber optic lines, gas lines, things like that. So
Any underlying utility easements still retain their easement even if we vacate the roadway easement.
okay, okay. Any further questions? Chair would entertain a motion.
Do we need to read the vacated road as described or not?
We the black part there.
Yes.
If you would care to read that, if you are getting ready to move the motion, that'd be great.
Okay, I would make a motion to, actually, we're setting a date here, aren't we? We use today's date.
Yes.
For the public hearing, I think you were looking at May 1st, weren't you?
We need to write May 1st
Yeah,
in here.
you're right, whatever date, so May 1st.
Whatever they
isn't it?
decided, yeah.
Okay, the motion is set, to set May 1st, 2018 at 9:00 a.m. in Meeting Room 2, 3rd floor, northeast corner of the courthouse, as the date and time for a public hearing to consider closing a portion of 110th Street in Bangor Township, Marshall County, Iowa. And here's the vacated road as described. All of 110th Street between the east right-of-way line of Frederick Avenue in Section 1, Township 85 North, Range 20 west of the 5th Prime Meridian, and the west right-of-way line of Glick Avenue in Section 6, Township 85, Range 19 west of the 5th Prime Meridian, all in Marshall County, Iowa.
Okay, that sounds like a lot, but it's on the edge of two townships, and it's just one old road that just continually flows there. We're not skipping clear across the townships here.
Quick question before we set this date. Is there any statutory requirement going out 30 days that we have to set? Because if so, we're not out 30 days.
4 and 20.
Okay.
4 and 20.
Not less than
I'll be
4,
sending
not
out
more
this
than
week.
20? Okay.
Yep, be sending out this week, but we just like to allow enough time to have those because they go certified mail
Yep.
to come back to us before the hearing.
Okay.
I'm wearing out the calendar app on my phone this morning.
Okay, the chair entertain a motion then?
We have the motion, Steve made the motion.
Mr. Chair, I will second that.
I'm sorry. Dave did that? Dave did that? Is there
Second.
any further questions, comments, discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Solosik?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Okay. This motion has carried. Number 15 is time set and place for public hearing for proposed vacation of a portion of 277th Street, State Center Township, petition 845. And this is the same type of situation. Paul, any particular comments there?
This section of 277th is currently open, but it's a dead end, and due to property acquisitions that have happened, there's one owner that has all of the adjacent property, and it's a kind of out of the way dead end, so they would like to just discourage dumping and anything else going on at the end of this dirt road that shouldn't be happening. And generally, if someone's going down there, they're not going to this property, they don't really have a purpose. So it's just a matter of, they would like to be able to gate this dead end at this vacation point so that they can't get back to this farmstead, nobody can go back there and dump stuff. It's just it's kind of a nuisance prevention.
Okay. The chair would entertain a motion then to,
Mr. Chair, I would
Proposed
motion that
vacation.
we set May 1st, same date as the previous one at 2018 at 9 a.m. in meeting room number 2, 3rd floor, northeast corner of the courthouse, as a date and time for a public hearing to consider closing a portion of 277th and State Center Township, Marshall County, Iowa. That would consist of all of that part of 277th Street located within the northwest 1/4 of the southwest 1/4 and the northeast 1/4 of the southwest 1/4 of Section 32, Township 83 North, Range 20, west of the 5th Prime Meridian, in all of Marshall County, Iowa, lying east of the line of Lot 4 of North Subdivision.
And I would second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Solosik?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Okay, item number 15 is carried. Moving on then to item number 16, this is secondary roads, and FY 2019 Iowa DOT budget. Discussion and possible action on the approval of the FY 2019 Iowa DOT budget for Marshall County Secondary Road Department. Okay, Paul?
This is just the submittal to the DOT of our recently approved fiscal 19 local budget, and I just waited, our fiscal 18 amendment has been approved by the DOT, so then we're okay to get this submitted, and there won't be any hiccups on the process.
Okay, any further discussion, or Chair would entertain a motion?
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve FY 2019 Iowa DOT budget for the Marshall County Secondary Road Department.
Mr. Chairman, I would second that.
Moved and seconded. Again, any further discussion? Everyone? Okay. If not, roll call vote, please.
Solosik?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Okay, item number 16 is carried. Moving on then to item number 17, again, secondary roads, FY 2019 5-year secondary road construction program. Discussion and possible action on the approval of the FY 2019 5-year secondary roads construction program for Marshall County Secondary Road Department. Okay, Paul?
And this is another annual process that we every year submit our program to the DOT for approval. It just shows the projects that we have kind of on the line for things that are going to happen in the next 5 construction seasons. It's really just mostly just an advancement of last year's program where everything moves up a year. The big changes that you'll see is there is the TAP project that has that transportation alternatives that we've got in fiscal 19, and I also have a locally funded counterpart to that TAP project that will be the same type of work on the fillets that are extending out from the primary roads. Now, just because we program it doesn't mean it is for sure going to happen. This just means that we are going to attempt to get this through and get it funded. I know that on the local side of the TAP project, I've got to show you that we can afford to do this. And so that's going to be part of the budgetary process, because it's going to be local dollars that are used to fund that improvement. Other than that, it's the bridges that we've been planning on doing. The North Center Street bridges are in 19 and 20. The other ones that you'll see have been in the program for a while, but there's a J17 on Ridge Road that is posted 10 tons, and it's on one of those parallel routes to Highway 14. So if we have an accident on 14, we end up with many and large trucks being rerouted onto our local system, and this is a route they really can't take because it's a 10-ton posted bridge. So it'll allow them a little more flexibility on rerouting traffic.
Is that one we're going to replace with a box culvert or a full bridge?
I think it may be a little on the large side for a box, but it's right close to that. I probably can't say right here though. Tell you what the drainage area is. No, drains 9 miles.
Okay. And the other part of that addition on the fillets, that's contingent upon us receiving the grant
Yes.
money through transportation alternative dollars.
And if the TAP money didn't get approved, then the local one isn't gonna happen either, because it's really just a matter of making sure that there'll be no more economical time to get those done. And if we're gonna be doing the TAP project, then doing the ones on the other side of 330 and right down the road just makes sense, because it's a major safety improvement.
We shouldn't have any trouble getting that approved. You know, I sit on Region 6, you're also on the transportation portion of Region 6. And our neighboring counties have always cooperated heavily with us.
I haven't had any indication from DOT or Region 6 that there's any possible red flags. So
Okay. When do you find that out?
I would have to ask Marty Wymore. find out the actual, I know that it has to go, after we program it and submit it, then it still has to be approved at the DOT level, and I'll just keep you guys informed.
Okay.
And it is in our future program of work from Region
It
6.
is, okay.
But we still have to get the award from the transportation alternatives portion of that budget.
Okay. Any questions? Steve, you got a question?
No.
Okay. Chair would entertain a motion then, at this time.
Bill,
Yes,
you
question?
can ask for public comment on that.
Sure, yeah.
I'm Brent Hauser and live over by State Center on Fairman Avenue, and I talked to Paul a few times on the phone about kind of the change in the traffic and the change in the population down that stretch of road. I live just a quarter mile south of Highway 30 on Fairman, and when we moved in 19 years ago, there was about 13 people in that first half-mile stretch south of the highway, including a couple that lived inside the Pines Tree Farm there. And now we've got about 32 people, unofficial count, 32 people just in the first half mile, of which about 16 of those are kids, or 18 and under. Most of them a lot younger than that. And if you include everyone inside the Pines, there's about over 60 people total. And then you don't have to go too much further down the road, and there's quite a few families that live down there. So we've got a lot of young drivers, a lot of kids kind of in the neighborhood out playing, and the changes we've seen are a move to a lot more ag equipment and a lot larger ag equipment, and we see some pretty high speeds of traffic going through that road. So there's some safety concerns, also concerns around road condition. I know it's difficult to keep that stretch of road maintained due to all the traffic. And so from a safety standpoint, a maintenance standpoint, you know, I've talked to our neighbors, and I think we'd all like to see something done there along the way of maybe paving at least that stretch of road, if not more. But we'd like to see that area improved.
Okay, now, how long is that stretch again? You said a half mile?
There's a half mile that's, I would say, is where the most population is right there. And then, like I said, there's quite a bit of traffic that continues on beyond that, but that's the center of the population, I would say, the half mile there.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are on the south side of Highway 30?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
On Fairman?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're south of the Pines.
Along the east edge of the Pines, I guess for about the length of the Pines. As far as that goes south, you could kind of draw a line on the north and south border of the Pines across Fairman Avenue, and that's about a half mile there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's the road that borders the east side of the Pines.
Yes.
We're talking about.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I know that's getting built out there a lot more. How many vacant lots are left in the Pines?
Well,
There's one that isn't, doesn't have a house on, but I think they're all sold.
they're all sold, but they are all built on. There's probably 5 or 6, Paul,
That are not built yet, but
Yeah. Is it, on the standpoint of snow removal and stuff like that, I mean, I visited with Brad numerous times, and he said the smaller roads or whatever are kind of a burden, you know, like kind of down the Harvester. I mean, would you put a maintainer on that, or would you use a county truck, or?
currently inside the Pines, the only way it comes onto our system is if it ends up being paved.
Right,
And then once it's paved, it would be a truck plow route.
okay.
The battle we've had on some of the areas is just having suitable places to turn a truck around.
Sure.
Generally takes around an 80-foot wide cul-de-sac to get that thing to be able to go around without having to encroach on somebody's property. And we always knock things over when we encroach.
So then, what you're discussing then is the road on the east side of the Pines, which is a county road. And then you're asking the possibility of hard topping that. And then the one inside the Pines, that's your responsibility then?
They have their
The
own
Pines.
association.
Right.
The Pine has their own association.
Okay, so the association's responsibility is blacktop the one going down the middle of the pines then.
That's correct.
Is that currently paved?
No.
But the
I believe it
association,
was billed at DOT specs though, but
I think the grading is proper when they had the intention of paving it at some point, and it just hasn't happened, but,
yeah.
you know, what Brett's saying and what I agree to is that if they can get it to move forward to where they can afford to pave it, that would be the time for us to pave it out to 30 from, you know, that, at least that half mile, and that is it's a serious maintenance headache for us right now, and he's absolutely right about the increased traffic on Fairman. And the other problem we have there is they end up doing an extended dust control on Fairman, and ultimately that causes it to be a little muddier in different times of the year because it doesn't freeze at the same rate as everything else, and so it's a little more stable in the summertime, but it can be a real problem when the road's soft.
yeah.
Do you guys have any plans on paving in your area, timeline-wise?
I live on Fairman, so I'm part of this.
In the
here.
Pines?
Yeah.
We're not part of the Pines, so we're on Fairman. We're not part of the association in the
Okay.
Pines.
Okay.
Are you part of the association?
No, sir, but I have a concern
Okay.
also.
So all three of you then live south of the pines
That's correct.
onto the road.
Well,
Currently-
east of the Pines.
Pardon?
East of the Pines on Fairman.
Okay.
Currently, we have dust control from Highway 30 down a half mile, which is the end of our property. And so we've been doing that for the past 15 years, just to keep the dust down because of the traffic. And Paul is right, you know, once you do dust control, the gravel, and then, the traffic is just a lot, so.
It can be slick in the winter because of that
Mhm.
too, yeah. Okay, any other comments? Yeah,
On the same deal, I'm Jack Robinson, I live on Fairman also. We not only have the traffic, and you can't keep rock on it. The amount of rock you put on it is a lot, but just disappears. But another issue is in the next quarter mile, there's a 95-year-old bridge that carries all this, and there is a lot of heavy grain trucks that go over that. And last fall, the county, Paul put a 15-ton limit on that road, and nobody can read. And I don't know what to do about that.
We have a really difficult time getting any vehicular enforcement on our granular system. It's tough to even get on our paved system, and it's just a matter of, I haven't asked motor vehicle to stake it out, but you and I both know that when they're hauling silage, it wouldn't take long for them to write a few tickets.
Now, silage or grain, but silage, there's every 5 minutes there's a truck.
The only thing that may change, it may not change the traffic, it just may change the direction. The empty trucks will be going out instead of the loaded trucks
Yeah,
coming in.
An empty truck probably could pass at 15 ton.
Yeah.
But it's a safety issue, and the road, it's an old 95-year-old bridge, so it's a concrete with relatively narrow. I don't know if it's 16 feet. I don't know what those old ones were, Paul.
It's I'll tell you the width here in just a second. Okay.
What road is that bridge on?
Fairman.
Fairman,
It's also on Fairman, but it's just further down.
yeah, it's a quarter of a mile down. But we have a neighbor that, and he may not be doing it legally, but he lives on south, just a mile south of 30, that several times he goes out with his tractor and blade so he can drive across the ruts and stuff on either side of the bridge that are dangerous. And
It's
so-
18 feet wide. It's 18
It is
feet
18.
wide, so narrow.
yeah, but anyway, it's a 95-plus-year-old bridge, and there is lots and lots of heavy traffic. The worst is the silage deal, but there's semis and large straight trucks too that nobody can read. So,
It's a small enough drainage area that it very likely is gonna end up in our, with a precast box culvert replacing the bridge.
I think that's what you did.
Mile south.
Yeah, a mile south of 30, and that road doesn't have a tenth the traffic on it that Fairman has, but it got replaced.
Yeah, and
So,
it drains 2,300 acres, so it's right on that,
yeah,
where we
So-
should be able to get it.
I thank
Twin
you.
box.
Thank you for your consideration anyway.
James,
no, thank you.
can you bring that area
We
up?
do it on maintenance.
Okay, so we can do it anytime we choose, doesn't have to be in the
Yes.
program.
Okay. We appreciate you coming and explaining your situation to us. We don't always hear those things unless you come and talk to us, so thank you. Okay, moving on then here, in regard to our agenda here, we have a motion and we have a second.
We do not.
We do not?
No, we need a motion.
On item number 16?
17.
Or set, pardon? Okay, that's why I don't have it. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the fiscal year 2019 five-year secondary road construction program for the Marshall County Secondary Road Department.
And I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Wassick,
Yes?
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Okay. And we're not writing you off. We're doing our thing here, but we'll continue to look at this, okay?
Well, and the bridge issue that they have,
Can be done anyway.
he can do it at any time because it doesn't have to be in the program.
Yep.
I have actually had formal requests not to replace that bridge because they don't want the trucks to have the green light to just.
So this is one of these things where we're darned if we do and darned if we don't?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
How far out of their way do they have to go to miss that bridge?
It's just a mile to Gerhardt, and I've seen them completely destroy Gerhardt to the place where you can't drive anything across it. But it's, we have to, I mean, the roads are there for ag purposes, you know, and that's why most of them were built in the first place. So we have to adapt.
Okay. Moving on then to item number 18, Marshall County Actuarial Services. And this is discussion and possible action on actuarial services agreement by and between Silverstone Group Incorporated in Marshall County, continuing through December 31st, 2018 for compliance with Government Accounting Standard Board and Statement 17.
75.
Or 74. I have a little problem reading today.
The
Any-
GASB 75 is a replacement to GASB 74, and it's just one of the things we need to do to be in compliance for being self-insured.
And we currently use this actuarial service
Yes.
anyway. I thought we
Yeah,
had.
this is the
Yep.
same one, it's just a,
These are the ones out of Sioux City.
So all we're doing is updating what statement they're going after from 74 to 75.
yes, so the process is slightly, it is a little bit different. I don't know where this actuarial firm is at.
Doesn't matter. I was
But it
just-
is the same one we've used previously, but yeah, the rules have changed a little bit, it's similar, but, it did change just a little bit.
And Nan, does that have to be done yearly then?
I believe it's, like every year, but I'm not 100% sure on it. It's not something I don't think we have to do every year.
Okay.
They kind of do, and I shouldn't say that, they, provide us a report each year, but they do their more in-depth work every other time, and then, so I think the fee is maybe a little bit different.
Okay. The chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve the agreement between Marshall County, Iowa and Silverstone Group Incorporated.
Mr. Chair, I would second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Solosik.
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Okay, the motion has been approved. And item number 18, item number 19 is approve an engagement letter. We did that, and we did 20. So moving on then to 21. And this is Resolution 2018-0023, some deputy sheriff's positions. Sheriff Hoffman, would you kindly come and kind of explain this to everybody here, please?
Yes, thank you, gentlemen. As you're aware, by resolution, you control the number of deputies that are allotted to me, and we currently have 2 vacancies, which amounts to about 17% of our patrol division. We have an announced retirement for this fall, and as we've spoken before, we're in a very competitive environment for recruiting and also the timelines as far as academy training if we have non-certified candidates, as well as field training. The academy itself is 15 weeks. Our field training following that amounts to approximately 16 weeks. It's hours based, but it tends to run out about approximately 16 weeks. We have an opportunity to send candidates, assuming that the backgrounds work out, for April 30th, which puts them tentatively to graduate the academy at the end of August, and through field training basically means that they're of no utilization to patrol and assist with the workload until about January of next year. So my hope is, with the approval of this allotment, I'm not asking for a continued resolution to increase the workforce by 1, but in these cases, in the environment that we're in, for the recruiting and training periods, that you allow me to exceed that deputy allotment. Also in the hope here of being able to hire a certified applicant that is in the pool, assuming that background works out. If things are on track and we're able to hire him, say in May or June, that person is then available to us by at least late summer. If it's another non-certified person or we wait for that additional vacancy, then we're talking about this time next year or even further before we have the relief. We currently have other people that are eligible to retire from the deputy staff, and we can also have the possibility of other people leaving in the interim. So with the smaller force that we have, I'd like to put us in the best possible position to move forward. And one of these candidates in particular also has a conditional offer from another department, and some of our other candidates are also in the process with other agencies. So it's not so much a matter of, it is difficult, not only locally but nationally, getting people to apply for these jobs now. But if you get the applicants, then it's even a greater challenge getting qualified applicants. And we feel really confident in the small pool of people that we have some good potential that are good fits, kind of the right people at the right time. And so I'd ask for your favor and help us make this move now.
So you're looking for a temporary thing here, not a permanent?
Correct.
This person that has the conditional offer to another department, if we go with this resolution, may that change that offer?
Right. He has expressed to us that this is his preference. He lives in the county, but he's actively been looking for a law enforcement opportunity. And
okay.
What would be the best way to motion this, to increase 19 to 20 effective April 3rd, 2018 until April 3rd, 2019, or a year?
My preference would be that it be a standing resolution. Obviously, the hiring is a two-part process. One, you control by resolution the authorized strength of my deputies, and then secondly, we have the formality of the hiring process. So obviously, whomever I select in the processes comes before this board to be formally hired. And also then there's the deal, the appropriation of the money. So we have other checks and balances if we leave this as a standing resolution.
If it's a standing resolution, you've authorized this until you make the change. Are these dollars within your current budget, or are you going to have to handle this through a budget amendment?
expect not to ask for any budget amendment. Obviously, we're currently 2 deputies short, plus the accreditation manager and executive secretary. And then we also have a member that's been on extended military deployment. So look to absorb these through current budget without asking for additional funds.
Shouldn't have to, because if we have budgeted him to his authorized level within his budget, but he doesn't have individuals drawing from that pool, those dollars are still there whether that position is filled or not.
Yeah.
I'd like to see an end date on this.
Or some sort of verbiage, and you said that too. This is for to make sure that the training process is going to work. Can we put at the end of this sentence to authorize increase in deputy sheriff positions from 19 to 20 effective April 3rd, 2018 for the purpose of training? Is that enough to imply that after the training and you don't have any training problems at that time, that we're still at 19, or do we need?
I wouldn't mind that, but I'd also like an agreement that there will be no budget amendments for this purposes either. Those dollars are there. We need to stay within those dollars and that level of funding.
Can I ask a question? Just, would a candidate be less likely to take the position if they think their position could be eliminated in 1 year? If the numbers are reduced back to 19?
Well, by the way the resolution's been crafted, it's already known that there's an announced retirement, so we already know that the vacancy
Okay.
is occurring in
Temporary
it.
thing.
Yeah.
You've got an individual that is going to be retiring that is not on active duty because of using up vacation time. Would that be pretty close to accurate?
Well, later this year, that would be correct.
What if we just put the word temporary in there on that last sentence? Now therefore be it resolved by the Marshall County Board of Supervisors to authorize a temporary increase in deputy sheriff positions. Does that suffice?
It doesn't need a date at the end then.
Well,
Temporary would just be the
Temporary
open,
still leaves it wide open.
But we have control over that though too, right? I mean, it's not anything that.
Like Steve said, you have to approve the hire.
Right.
So you've still got the ultimate control.
And there is the possibility that what if you're in this situation again?
Absolutely.
This will still keep that valid.
Well, this can come up every so often.
Yeah. Which is the kind of the purpose of also including the language, not only for announced retirements, but other announced departures. We were trying to think outside the box for the administrative team of situations that could arise. I'm currently aware of a deputy in a neighboring county whose spouse has received a promotion and a transfer, and that agency knows that the deputy in 4 months' time is leaving following the spouse to Northwest Iowa. We've had situations around before where people have decided that have been reservists or guardsmen that have decided to take full-time positions in the military and left law enforcement. So to be clear, we've tried to craft this to fit a number of scenarios that might arise in the future, knowing that we have a number of upcoming retirements in the really short years. In the next 2 years, we're going to have the changing face of the sheriff's office. However, the immediacy of my problem does exist now, so I don't want to argue or belabor the point of putting a timeline on it. A year solves my immediate problem, but I was looking for the potential to address future issues as well.
And I'm fine with all this as long as we don't get to a budget amendment and need to take monies out of our reserves, which we finally have where we want, or when we get into the budgetary process, that we are adding one more individual to the roster for budget reasons.
Yeah.
As long as we get to no amendments and that we stay for budget purposes at the allotted number of today, I'm fine with this.
Yeah. And that's understood with me as well, and frankly, if it doesn't pencil out at whatever point this comes up, because it is really all a matter of timing,
Yeah.
of knowing if the math will work or not. And there are scenarios where I may want to do this where it's just not going to fit because of the money.
Because right now, you're subject to the wonderful open market, free market individuals that are going from point A to point B in all of our law enforcement. The city is faced with the same stuff.
We don't want to.
Capitalism is a wonderful thing.
Don't want to tie your hands in any way here with the situation.
Well, I appreciate your consideration. Any other questions?
Well, as long as we have that understanding, I'm good with this.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, I would motion that we approve, or we adopt, resolution number 2018-0023 concerning deputy sheriff positions.
And I'll second.
And you're to adopt it as of today, then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any further discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Solosik,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Okay, so adopted as of today. I believe that brings us to the end. Item number 22 is a forum, public forum. It's a time set aside for public to make comments on topics of government business other than those listed on this agenda. No action will be taken on any of these topics brought up in the public forum. Anyone wishing to use the mic?
I just wanted to let the board know that I spoke to you during budget time about sewer repairs that we're making down at the Marshalltown shop, and repairs are not going to cover what is going on down there. It is everything we are going through as far as jetting out lines. It looks like it may be a total replacement of the sewer system on that property. There's failures every 5 or 6 feet, and it's really not looking good. So I just wanted to let you know that it's kind of it's worse than we expected.
And we anticipated that. Do we have any dollar thought processes yet?
We have not gotten any real estimates. The problem we have is some of these lines go dangerously close to our fueling system. We may need to just relocate where some of the lines are going. There's definitely the potential, at the least, that our fueling system will be shut down for a couple of weeks when they're doing this work. So we'll have to put other departments on notice that they may have to get alternative fueling plans for a short amount of time.
And if I remember right, at budget time, we discussed, did you think we're gonna be able to do this with our own staff on our property?
It's a little bit,
gonna
we
be-
wouldn't do much else but work on sewer lines. And I also don't think within the limits of what the city allows that our guys can actually do the work.
Because we're not bonded?
Yes, I think there's city ordinances that deal with what you're doing for sewer work. So we are probably going to have to hire a contractor to do the work and get permits through the city.
Yeah, I understand. Any other? If not, item number 13, or 23, is adjournment. And the next regular session is April 17, 2018 at 9 a.m. All business to be acted upon at that session should be submitted to the county auditor and recorder's office or board of supervisor's office by Thursday, April 12, 2018 at 1 p.m. There being no further business to come before the board, the meeting is adjourned at 10:06.